No way, that's her?
That's the one that bakes.
Oh my God, is that the real Chef Lay?
If you can read, you can tell by the title of this video, it's your very own, the host, the real Chef Lay, Miss Cake Lady, the baker of the year, the real Chef Lay, man. What's good with y'all? All right, y'all, so today we really just gonna get into getting to know your host. For the ones that don't know me, this for you. For the ones who know me, stay tuned because you might have missed something and it might be something about me that you don't know. All right, let's get into it. So I had some people ask me a few questions that I'm going to answer so y'all can get to know y'all host. Let's get started. The first question is, how old am I? How old do I look? Nah, I'm 27, y'all. I just turned 27 on December 28th. You know what I'm saying? Well, all my Capricorns and all my Capricorns, drop the Capricorns in the comments, man. But yeah, I'm 27, y'all. I was born December 28th, 1998. I'm a 90s baby. All right, let's get into the second question. Somebody asked, who is Chef Lay when the cameras are off? I'm me. I'm baking. I got my own clothing brand. If you can't tell, this is my clothing brand called Seventh Rain. If I'm not baking, I'm doing my clothes. If I ain't doing my clothes, I'm bartending. If I'm not bartending, I'm taking care of my family. And if I'm not doing that, probably streaming on TikTok Live, no cap. But the real Chef Lay is a family-oriented person. I love my family. I love my friends. I love to be around my people, and I love to have fun. If you can't tell, I like to smile. So anything about having fun, I'm down for it. My next question is, if someone just found out about my podcast today, what should they know about me? They should know that I'm a very I am a very self-driven person. I'm determined. I'm goofy. I love to have a good time. And anything I want in life, I'm going to chase it. That's just me. Somebody asked me, was entrepreneurship always the plan or did it find you? As a kid, I have little small letters that I found. If I can find them, I actually show y'all in some of my clips. But I have these little things where I was in elementary school and it asked what I wanted to be when I grew up. And it always said WNBA player or entrepreneur. So I feel like I've always had that self-madeness in me as a kid because I was always doing something. I used to make duct tape wallets. I used to sell candy in school. I used to always do stuff for myself. So honestly, I feel like entrepreneurship has always been in me. It just has been. The next question is, how did Simple Sweets Creations get its name? Simple Sweet Creations is my baking business. It get its name, it's SIMP''LAY. Simp is the nickname of my granddad that unfortunately passed away before I graduated high school. So he's really the basis of, you know what I'm saying, my baking business. When I first started baking cakes, he bought my first ever red velvet cake and he told me, Scoop, this gonna be your money maker. I'm thinking, nah, because I'm not into baking and whatnot at the time. I'm trying to go do, I was going to college for physical therapy. But after he passed away and I got to college and realized physical therapy wasn't for me, hey, I gave baking a shot and it's been my therapy ever since, so I love it. The K in Creations actually stands for my niece and nephew, Kiara and Nola. Those are my prized possessions, man. Those are my babies. I love them down, y'all. If you've ever seen me on social media, you see me with my babies. Those are my babies, y'all. Real spill. So that's pretty much where the name Simple Sweet Creations come from. I think that's the third time I rebranded my name. So that's pretty much where that comes from. Let me see. What's been your proudest moment so far? Being on a billboard and being in magazines. Y'all, I was on a billboard in Columbia, South Carolina. That was probably one of my biggest, most precious moments ever. And being in 3 magazine articles, just explaining to the world and letting the world understand, you know what I'm saying, my endeavors as far as baking, my clothing brand, and bartending and things like that. I feel like those are my biggest accomplishments. Who doesn't want to be on a billboard in the capital of their state that they grew up in and that they were born in? Exactly, my point. So yeah, I would say that was basically my proudest moment that I've ever had so far. But, you know, I know this new year is going to bring in more proud moments for myself. So I'm interested in seeing what 2026 got to hold for me. Who is this podcast really for? This podcast is really for entrepreneurs, rappers, artists, you know what I'm saying? Artists as far as like painters and stuff like that. Anybody, other bakers, you know what I'm saying, that create any type of, you know, artistry or that have any type of creativity, you know what I'm saying? This is for us to be able to kick back, relax, and just talk amongst each other that we don't get to talk about on, you know what I'm saying, social media, that we don't get to talk about amongst each other. You know, this is a chance to just relax and just really let it all off your chest, man, because I feel like we all have a lot bottled up that we really don't get to talk about. There's a lot of grit and grind that goes on behind the scenes that we don't get to express. So I feel like on The Real Recipe, as a baker, it's a double entendre. This is the real recipe. I do the real recipes. I'm going to do the real thing regardless. But I feel like with this podcast, I'm actually going to get into that grit, grind, and gravy of what it is of being a baker and what it is of everybody else in the world that want to just say their piece on this podcast. So that's what The Real Recipe is for me, because this is literally the real deal recipe. Like, these are real people, real conversations, real problems, and just real talk. So why not talk about it? All right, my next question is, what is your favorite dessert to make and your favorite dessert to eat? My favorite dessert to make has to be my sweet potato cheesecake. It takes a long time to make it, but it's like savoring and enjoying each sweet, savory part of making it. You're making it with love. You're making it with care. You're making it with passion, blood, sweat, tears. You're making it with all of that. So I feel like it's the most time-consumed product that I make, but it's also my favorite one to make. My favorite dessert to eat is always going to be red velvet cake. Y'all, I am a red velvet cake lover. Like, excuse me. I am a red velvet cake lover, y'all. I don't know what it is, but it's something about that richness in a red velvet cake with that cream cheese icing with the pecans on top. Chef's kiss. Definitely my favorite one. One kitchen fail that I'll never forget, y'all. It was this one time I was baking, and I was up baking for Christmas. This was like in 2021. Y'all, I was so tired from baking 10 to 13 cakes, I fell asleep on my last cake and burnt the cake. Y'all, talk about upset, because all the stores was closed, so I couldn't go to the store to buy more ingredients to bake a whole nother cake. I had to end up refunding them their money. Definitely one of my biggest fails when it came to baking. So one of my biggest questions that I really like, I was gonna save this question to the end, but I really like this question, is if your life was a recipe, what are the main ingredients? The main ingredients of my life, I'd have to say, is joy. You know, joy, happiness. I'd have to say peace was one of my main ingredients. Determination, you know what I'm saying? I feel like it's one of my main ingredients because my drive and determination is what pushes me every day to be a better version of myself than I was yesterday. So I definitely say that's one of my main ingredients when it comes to my life aspect. Another thing is love. Love, I don't care what nobody say. Love is at the top of the list with me. That is the main ingredient. That is the top tier ingredient that you just can't leave out. Love is such a strong emotion, and it's such a strong expression when it comes to people that, you know, you keep around you and stuff like that. Love is like the root of everything for me. I move out of love. I bake with love. I love people with love. You know what I'm saying? I move every day with love. I smile every day because I love myself. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like love is definitely one of the top main ingredients that, you know what I'm saying, is in the recipe of my life. Another ingredient that's in my recipe is definitely money. Times it's too hard for money to not be one of the main ingredients in the recipe. Because listen, the way this economy going, that's definitely a main ingredient. Another main ingredient I have to say that's in my life's recipe is definitely wisdom. I've accumulated a lot of wisdom from a lot of older people growing up, and I've always considered myself to have an old soul. Shout out to my grandma, both of my grandmas, my granddaddy. Shout out to Miss Rose, who used to make the coconut pies. Miss Rose, I love you, Miss Rose. But shout out to Miss Rose that make the coconut pies in Beach Island, South Carolina. Miss Rose definitely was a lady that gave me a bunch of wisdom at my middle school, high school age. My grandma has always given me wisdom. My granddad has always given me wisdom. So I always follow pursuit with wisdom in my life because, you know, wisdom keeps you from making the same mistakes that other people make. Other people give you advice and life wisdom based on mistakes that they've made. So I feel like if somebody gives you the game of wisdom, you're liable to be successful. Like, there's no way you can mess up the game if people are literally giving you the game. So I definitely feel like wisdom is a big part of the recipe of my life as well, because a lot of that stuff that I've accumulated from older people has definitely made me who I am today and shaped me and molded my soul into being the chef that I am today. Let me see. What do you want people to feel after listening to the podcast? After listening to my podcast, I really feel like I want people to feel like they got stuff off their chest. I want them to feel like they're heard. I want them to feel like they're seen, because I know a lot of times, a lot of people feel like they're not heard or seen. A lot of people feel like people don't hear them out. A lot of people feel like, you know what I'm saying, they got the whole stuff in. But I really want people to be able to get everything off their chest for real. Like, we gonna laugh about it. We might cry about it, but we gonna talk about it either way. And I feel like that's what people really need. People just really need to talk about stuff, because I know me personally, I be needing to talk about stuff. So, I mean, hey, why not put it all on the table and put the real ingredients on the table and make the cake? You know what I'm saying? Why should people keep tuning in to The Real Recipe? Because you get to look at me. Jeez, glad. But nah, you get to look at me, man. So I feel like, why not? Like, you know what I'm saying? You gonna giggle. I promise you gonna giggle during this podcast. Believe me, we're gonna kiki. So yeah, that's why you should tune in. All right, guys, and that's a wrap for The Real Recipe. Thank y'all for staying locked in with your favorite chef, your favorite foodie, your favorite mentor, your favorite comedian, The Real Chef Lay, man. You know what I'm saying? I can't wait to share more stories, more lifetime experiences, more tips. Definitely heavy on story times, because I'm definitely going to give y'all some story times too. But just worldly advice and stuff like that in the kitchen and in life, you know what I'm saying? So if you love today's episode, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Make sure y'all follow me on social media. Make sure y'all follow my business pages on social media. And yeah, why not follow me? And why not like my page and like the post and comment on it? Because like, y'all ain't doing nothing else. You done made it this far in the video. So, you know what I'm saying? Let's do it. Next week, we'll be diving into something special. We might have our first guest. Who knows? Y'all got to stay tuned. Make sure y'all hit that bell and turn on your post notifications so y'all can catch me when I post the next podcast episode. Chef Lay, out.
No way, that's her.
That's the one that bakes.
Oh my God, is that the real chef, Lay?